Let me guess. Your front-end build takes forever. Locally, it's slow. In CI, it's worse. A pull request that changes one line of CSS still runs the entire pipeline. People don't say it out loud, but everyone hates touching the build. This isn't because front-end builds are inherently slow. It's because teams slowly design themselves into this problem. Let me show you how. Every front-end build starts simple. One app, one repository, one pipeline. You don't think about build performance because there's no reason to. You install dependencies, you bundle assets, you run a few tests. The build finishes in 2 minutes. Nobody complains. At this stage, the build feels invisible. It's not something the team talks about. It's not something anyone plans for. It just works. And that's actually the most dangerous phase. Because invisible systems don't get designed, they get copied, they get extended, they get added to, without anyone stepping back to ask if the system still makes sense. When the build is fast, nobody owns it. There's no reason to. It's just a YAML file somewhere in the repo that everyone assumes will keep working. And this is exactly how teams accidentally lock in decisions that don't scale. Not because they made bad choices, but because nothing was slow yet. Now the team grows. More developers, more features, more urgency. Teams add steps to the build. Not because they want to slow things down, but because each step feels reasonable on its own. Linting, formatting, type checks, unit tests, visual tests, security scans, each addition makes sense, but the build quietly gets heavier. Here's where things start going wrong. Teams copy pipeline steps between projects. Not because they're lazy, but because no one wants to break the approved build. So every front end ends up running the full test suite, the full build, the full scan, even when a change only affects one file. The build stops being a tool, it becomes a ritual. Now add CI into the picture. Cold caches, limited runners, serialized jobs. A local 5-minute build turns into a 20-minute CI pipeline. At this point, developers stop waiting. They context switch. And every context switch costs more than the build itself. This is when teams say CI is slow. The build server is weak. We need better hardware. But throwing machines at the problem doesn't fix the root cause. Front-end builds become slow because they are designed as all or nothing systems. No ownership, no isolation, no understanding of what actually needs to run. When everything depends on everything else, every change triggers the entire pipeline. Slowness isn't accidental. It's the predictable outcome of how the system is structured. High-performing front-end teams design builds the same way they design systems. They isolate work, cache aggressively. They avoid running tests that don't matter for a given change. And they treat build time as a first-class performance metric, not an afterthought. If your front-end build takes 20 minutes, the problem isn't that front-end is slow. It's that the build was never designed to scale with the team. This channel is about those invisible systems, the ones that quietly drain productivity long before anyone calls them a problem. If that sounds familiar, welcome to Dev Architect Prime.